Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into another wonderfully chaotic adventure with everyone's favorite duo in the second episode of Masha and the Bear, titled, Don't Wait Till Spring. Our story opens in the heart of winter. The forest is covered in a beautiful thick blanket of snow, and Bear is getting ready for his long winter sleep. He's got his comfy pajamas on, his pillow is fluffed, and he's just about to drift off into dreamland. He even puts up a sign on his door that says, "Do not disturb until spring." It seems like a simple, foolproof plan for a peaceful hibernation, right? Well, if you know Masha, you know plans don't always go as expected. Just as Bear settles in, who shows up at his door? Masha, of course. She's full of energy and ready to play. She sees the snow and immediately thinks of all the fun winter games they can play together. She knocks on the door, but there's no answer. Bear is fast asleep. But a locked door and a sleeping bear are just minor obstacles for our determined little Masha. She tries everything to get in, knocking louder, peeking through the window, and calling his name. Bear, deep in his slumber, just snores on, completely unaware. Masha, not one to give up, decides to take matters into her own hands. She starts playing outside by herself, trying to make a snowman. But it's just not the same without her big furry friend. She misses Bear. She looks at his peaceful house and gets an idea. If she can't wake him up from the outside, maybe she can find another way in. It's a classic Masha moment where her innocent desire for fun leads to some hilarious problem solving. She spots the chimney and, with a mischievous grin, decides that's her new entrance. Up she climbs. Meanwhile, Bear is having a lovely dream, probably about honey and quiet, peaceful days. Little does he know, his dream is about to be interrupted in a very big way. Masha slides down the chimney, landing right in the middle of Bear's cozy living room, covered in soot but beaming with success. She looks around and sees Bear sound asleep in his chair. Time to play, she thinks. Masha tries everything to wake him up. She shouts, she pokes him, she even tries playing a loud trumpet right in his ear, but Bear is in a super deep sleep. He just mumbles and rolls over. Masha is baffled. How can anyone sleep through all this fun? She decides if she can't wake him up, she'll just have to bring the fun to him. This is where the real chaos begins, and it's absolutely adorable. First, she decides they should have a tea party. She sets up the little table, brings out the honey, and starts chatting away as if Bear is wide awake and enjoying the conversation with her. She offers him tea, puts a party hat on his head, and carries on a one-sided conversation about her day. Bear, still completely asleep, just sits there, a perfect, furry guest at Masha's imaginary party. It's a sweet and funny scene that perfectly captures Masha's endless imagination. But a tea party isn't enough for Masha. She wants to play doctor. She puts on Bear's glasses, grabs a first aid kit, and starts giving him a checkup. She listens to his chest with a stethoscope, checks his temperature, and even tries to give him a shot with a toy syringe. Bear, of course, sleeps through the entire examination. Masha declares him perfectly healthy, just very, very sleepy. Her dedication to her games is just incredible, turning Bear's peaceful hibernation into her personal playground. After playing doctor, Masha gets another brilliant idea. It's time to play school. She sets up a chalkboard, puts on a teacher's hat, and starts giving Bear a lesson. She tries to teach him the alphabet, pointing at the letters and saying them out loud, expecting him to repeat after her. But her only student is snoring peacefully. Undeterred, Masha continues the lesson, even giving him a little homework. You have to admire her persistence. She is determined to have fun, with or without Bear's active participation. Eventually, Masha's games lead her to the kitchen. And what's in the kitchen? Honey, lots and lots of honey. Bear's entire winter supply. Masha's eyes light up. She decides to make something special for her sleepy friend. She starts mixing and stirring, getting honey everywhere, on the table, on the floor, and all over herself. The kitchen quickly becomes a sticky sweet mess. It's a disaster zone, but Masha is having the time of her life. completely lost in her culinary adventure. Finally, after all her games, Masha starts to feel a little sleepy herself. The house is warm, the chair looks comfy, and she's had a very busy day. She curls up right next to the still sleeping bear and dozes off. The two of them, one big and one small, are finally quiet, sleeping side by side in a messy but cozy house. It's a peaceful, heartwarming moment, but it doesn't last long. As they sleep, a little bee that was trapped inside a honey jar manages to escape. It buzzes around the room and, you guessed it, heads straight for Bear. The bee lands on his nose and gives him a little sting. Bear jolts awake with a huge roar. He's confused, he's sore, and he looks around to see the absolute chaos that has taken over his house. There's soot, honey, toys, and a little girl sleeping peacefully next to him. Bear is not happy. He wanted a quiet winter, and instead, he woke up to a disaster. He stomps around, cleaning up the mess Masha made, grumbling the whole time. He tidies up the kitchen, puts the toys away, and tries to restore some order to his home. Masha, however, sleeps right through his frantic cleaning. Once the house is clean, Bear looks at the sleeping Masha. His frustration starts to melt away, and he can't help but feel a little fond of her. He gently picks her up, carries her back to her own little house through the snow, and tucks her into her bed. He even leaves a little pot of honey by her side. It shows that even when she drives him crazy, he cares about her deeply. Bear returns to his house, exhausted. He puts the "Do Not Disturb" sign back up, locks the door securely, and gets back into his chair, hoping to finally get some rest. He closes his eyes, and just as he's about to fall asleep, knock, knock, he opens his eyes in disbelief. It's Masha again, wide awake and ready for more fun. The episode ends with Bear's comically horrified expression, realizing his hibernation is officially over. And that's the end of another fantastic episode. It's a perfect example of Masha's unstoppable energy and Bear's endless patience. What was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching with me today. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more fun recaps. See you all next time. Bye.